we emphasized in this class during our outdoor times is getting to know a little bit about the environment you're walking through. And I can tell you truthfully that the more you learn, the more you want to learn. You learn a few plants and you want to know a few more. You hear a few bird calls and you want to know what the other ones are. It encourages you to constantly learn more, and honestly, the more you know when you're outside, the more enjoyable it is to be out there, the more things you recognize and so forth. And then the more you question and want to know more things, it brings even a further fascination to it. When you can be outside and see things and observe things and start to ask questions like, look at all these ferns. Why do ferns grow really well in some areas and then not at all in others? This morning, we've run across an eastern box turtle. From this distance, it appears to be a male. I'll show you a couple things about it where you can tell. Males have bright red eyes. These aren't the brightest I've seen, but I think those would qualify as bright red eyes. He's closed up and very shy right now, so we can't see his face and legs, but males tend to be more brightly colored. The top part of the shell is called the carapace, and the bottom part is called the plastron. Again, this appears to be a male because it has this indentation in the plastron. And well, as crude as this sounds, that is for mating. So he fits on top of the female a little easier. The female's plastron would be very flat with no indentation. I've heard it said several times that when you're helping a turtle across a road, you should always keep them going in the same direction as they were headed, because they have a sense of direction and they know where they're going. If you move them back across the road where they were coming from, they'll just cross it again. I don't know if that's really true or not, so that would be a good point to research. Okay, I'm going to leave him where I found him here, right on the trail, facing in the same direction. I'm going to encourage you to take time to get outside this summer. You can hear a pileated woodpecker trying to get in the video. Getting outside is great for several reasons. One, you can incorporate some physical health into it by hiking or jogging or walking. I'm sort of combining the three on this trip. It's good for your mental health to be outside in nature, getting away from all the TVs and the screens and the phones a little bit. I know that sounds hypocritical why I'm carrying a phone with me. This is a blossom of a white poplar, otherwise known as a tulip poplar, and I think you can see why from the blossoms. These are really cool. You don't see them very often because they're way up in the trees. Who knew beetles made sounds? I hope you've enjoyed our Signs of Spring series as much as I've enjoyed making it.
It's spring! Hooray! Oh boy, hooray! It's spring! It's spring again! Whee! I mean, it's spring! Doggies! Doggies! Look! Flowers! Whee! Come on, wake up! Open your eyes! Look, Yogi, it's spring!
It's been nice because It's forced me to think about organizing things in a different way. And the theme of spring and the reemergence of plants and animals around us after the winter has been fun and inspiring. The vernal pool, and you can see it looks like droplets of water and stuff hitting the pool, but it's not. Those are large tadpoles coming up to catch breaths of air from the wood frogs breeding in here. There may be some other frogs in here too, and toads, but it's mostly the wood frogs. And they seem to be in different stages of development. They did not all hatch at the same time. So I've seen some that look a little bit more like frogs, but the ones I caught still look mostly like tadpoles with some small hind legs. You can see these tadpoles are much larger than they were before. What you can't see in this video, because they're moving around too fast, is that some of them are starting to get little hind legs now. I think there's some more developed ones in the pool that I did not catch that looked further along. Being out in nature is also good for your mental health. You're starting to see more commercials on TV for these apps, and they simulate being in nature for like 45 seconds or something to help your mental state. Please, really? I mean, they may work a little bit, but can they really substitute for being out there in the real thing? Not a chance. This is a barred owl, B-A-R-R-E-D, barred owl. That's the one you usually hear, and the saying that they used to describe it is, who cooks for you, who cooks for you all. Hoo, 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 hoo. Hoo, 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 hoo. I just found a new wildflower to me this morning. Looked it up on the iNaturalist app. Virginia spiderwort. I found them at my turnaround point, all the way on top of the mountain. I enjoy being outside and taking my classes outside, but this spring has inspired me in a little different way when I'm outside by myself, is to be able to try to bring it to you a little bit, my experiences and what I find outside, and from a bunch of different locations and not just on campus, even though I've shared a lot of that. And honestly, if you want to see things outside, being in a group of 20 to 30 people talking, being sort of loud, is not the best way to see things. The more quiet you are, the more you hear. The more you hear, the more you see. Hey, quick reminder, guys, as you're getting out, be careful, look around you a little bit. Remember, leaves of 3, let it be. Leaves of 3, let it be. This is poison ivy on the ground. Generally, it's toothed, and sometimes you hear people talking about being shiny or having a reddish tint to it. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Generally, there's some bigger teeth on it. By the way, I'm not touching this, I'm above it because I am allergic to it. But again, the teeth aren't necessarily always going to be there either. This is on the same plant, and these leaves don't have teeth, at least yet. So leaves of 3, general rule, let it be. Other rule of thumb, as far as vines go, if it's hairy, be wary. So if you're tracing this vine up this tree, these things ended up branching off of it, and you see, again, groups of 3 leaves together. So it goes back to the rule of leaves of 3, let it be. And it doesn't really matter if you call it poison ivy, poison oak. There might be some differences in there, but they're both allergens and they'll both make you break out. Just stay away from both. It's a baby barred owl. They're just fledging. There's 2 of them, been hopping around and flapping around from branch to branch. There's the two of them right there. The mom was here a second ago and just took off. You can hear her calling. Yes, merganser ducks. One adult, the rest of those are chicks. I want to research to see if they do communal raising of the chicks. I missed them jumping off the stump, but there they all go. This is the eagle's nest we saw in the fall during our river trip. The eagles have definitely added to the nest. The eaglets are probably out of it by now, hanging around somewhere, but that's a lot larger than it was in the fall. Eagles will keep adding to their nest each year, sometimes to the point where it breaks the tree down. So I'm going to leave the Wildlife e-journal open all summer, and it's something you don't have to do to have a grade. I would encourage you to get outside, look around, be inquisitive, and then share it. Share it on the Wildlife e-journal. I'll be looking at it and giving feedback. And it's a way for us to communally bring information together and share. So I hope you take advantage of that. Yes, I'm encouraging you to both get outside and keep social distance and be safe. Enjoy your spring, enjoy your summer, but get outside.